The Gemara in the top of Ayin Chesem Aleph discusses that the one of Ayin Zayin and Beis is Meirich to ask that the Mishnah says on the Ayin Vav and Beis Chamisha Boim B'Tumat Mashma it's Boim Lechatchila, even though the korban is nitma, it's Boim Lechatchila, and it's Shvefim B'Shua, that's Mashma, that if there's no basar, if the basar is nitma, you can't bring on Lechatchila. The Gemara says Loi Kasha can be Yochid can be Tzibur. Rashi says the Lechatchila Psula v'Mzar Kurtza Umasnisim b'Tzibur Boim Lechatchila the Tumas Tzibur Hu Beheter. Tosfos understands that Rashi means to say that Tuma Hutra B'Tzibur. And he asks, if that's the case, why doesn't the Gemara say clearly that the reason why it's Bon Lechatchila is because Tuma Hutra B'Tzibur? And he says, furthermore, the Gemara afterwards asks an Rabbi Yossi that doesn't fit with the Mishnah, and if let the Gemara say that he understands Tuma Hutra B'Tzibur. So Tosfos explains that the understanding of the Gemara is that the Gemara is going to tzitz miratza lachilas, so therefore it's considered that there is basar. Baron Kotler in Mishnah Zabarin explains Rashi, and Babis he says that Tzarchi, and also on Shittas Rambam, that the Rambam holds the Ein Tzitz Miratza Lachilis, and he holds Tumut Chuya B'Tzibur, since Tzarchi has the understanding of the Gemara's teretz. So Baron Kotler explains that the Havonin in the Gemara's teretz, according to Shittas Rashi and the Rambam, is not that Tumah Hutra B'Tzibur, even if Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur, since it's mutter because Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur, therefore that alone, that's Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur, you're allowed to bring the korban because of Tchuya, that will be Masalik the Psul. And since there's no Isser, like we brought from Aaron on the Vayin Zayin, that since there's no Isser in Avos HaKorban and Melo, there's no Psul as well. So Aaron's understanding that the Morris teretz is that since Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur and it's a Tchiyah on the Isser, the Melo will follow that even without Ritzid Tzitz, there is no Psul in the Korban as well. And he says that the Gemara in the Havamina was bothered by that even though you have Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur, you still need Ritzid Tzitz. The Gemara in the Havamina is understanding that if it's nitma basar, it's considered like it's ovid basar. If it's considered like there's no basar, and that's why Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur itself won't be matter. But now the Gemara's understanding Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur will be matter the Isser, and Memela be misalik the Psul as well. And he explains further what's the difference between the Lechatchila B'Di'eved and what's B'Tzibur B'Yochid. And he explains according to a tremendous Yesod that he says Mavur also in the Shash and the Vayin Zayin and the that there's two separate halachas in ein basar, ein dam. One halacha is that the dam has to be matir the basar. And he says that's only halacha lechatchila, it's not ma'akev b'diavad. But then there's another halacha that in mitzvah that tzuras hakorban, the dam has to have basar of a korban brought with it. If there's no basar kayum, it's missing the tzura of the avos hakorban, and that halacha is even b'diavad. But Aaron explains in the Gabi, the second halacha, it's enough even if basar that's nitma and it's not roy and it won't be chala heter, that's hamiyas that won't be chala heter of the dam b'zikosu lo'itzim de'imilo. But hamiyas, it's considered that there is boss of the korban. So that's understanding in Shittas Rashi. The lechatchila b'yochid you can't bring it because you need the dam to be mater. But hamiyah b'di'eved it's chal, and it's specifically since it's nitzma and the boss is kaya, but you're just missing the matter. That's the reason why the chatchila you can't bring it, but the evidence hurts. Moving for the other Gemara in Beis says that Rav's going like Nosin, that Achilas Pesachim is not ma'akev. And the Gemara says, where do we see that Nosin holds that Achilas Pesachim is not ma'akev? If it's from the fact that Nosin says, Minayin Shekol Yisrael Yitzim Pesach Echad Tamaloyma V'Shachtu Oysoi Kol Kahal Adas B'Yisrael Ben Avayim. And how can you have Kol Kahal Yisrael Ben Yitzu with one Pesach? You don't have a Kazayas for each person. And the Gemara says no, because over there Shani Hasam Di Mimshech Hani Chazi Lahani. If one person will back out, it's Chazi for the other people. Each person it's roy to have a Kazayas basar, even though it's impossible for everybody to have a Kazayas basar. The Masham in his Chuvas brings from this Gemara a tremendous chiddush, the Gabi Shaila that he was discussed in his Chuvas. He has a tremendous arichis in Chelekei about a Shaila that was very negeya in his time. There was a minig in many cities that they hired goyim for the whole year to go every Shabbos morning and light neiris in the Beis HaKnesses, so the people will be able to come by Shmoyos HaBoker to say Tillim and to learn. And it was in Zayir Shaila that's more in Simon involved. That's a concern of Amir Akum when by a ner that the guf is being nana from the ner, and should be a problem even by kablonas. And the Shaila wrote that you should light one ner Me'erev Shabbos. What the goy is being moistev just a sofas ner, and then the goy himself would light one candle that he needs for himself, and he leaves it in the Beis HaKnesses, and that ner that wasn't lit for the Yidden is mutter. So therefore, all of the added neris that were lit specifically for the Yidden is a sofas hana, and that should be mutter. And the shoyl writes further that over here, since it's a kablon, it's only mishum chshad, and since it's a rabbim, it's a tzibur, there's no chsaron of chshad. So the Marsham has a tremendous arichas, and he explains that to the shoyls namigon, the kablonis is only mishum chshad. He says it's not true. The whole het of kablonis is only when the goy could do the melacha, even b'chol. He doesn't have to do specifically on Shabbos, but over here, you're hiring him specifically to do on Shabbos. It doesn't have a het of b'chlal. Then he says, even lu yitzur, the issue would be because of chshad. He said it's not so simple that the shoyl is assuming that the barabim is no chshad. Although the Magen Avraham is for barabim is not no chshad, however the Tosfos Shabbos and all the achronim for the barabim there is a chshad. They bring a raya from the fact that barabim that go the chigna that bring an animal is a problem, even barabim because of chshad. And the Marsham is moisif that be'emes the Magen Mishnah Perik Aleph Hilchos Ishus is mvur by ein adam boil belosti b'lasnus, that by Issa D'Rabbanon people are more chashud than Issa D'Oraisa. Marsham writes that it could be something that's done in the Beis HaKnesses. That's even a greater reason why to assume that there's no chshad, because something that's done in Beis HaKnesses, it was definitely through the authority of the Rabbonim, and therefore there's no makom for chshad. However, he brings from the Marit, and it's mvur in the Gemara Moed Katan Daf Yud Beis that asked the Mechatesi Kibbutz B'Kli Pishtan was B'Ratzon Chachamim, maybe was Shloi B'Ratzon Chachamim. So you see, they have to be concerned that the Chachamim were in Moicha because Mutav She'yishayim V'Lei Mezidin. Then the Marsham writes that Be'emes you find Yeshuas Yaakov is Moyel L'Hakel, that the minig was to be makel, and the Marsham says Be'etzim the Heishav Moshe was also Ma'irich L'Hakel. And the kula is because since there is one candle that the goy lit for himself, all the added neiris that the goy lights for the yidden is a sofas neiris ba'alma and shouldn't be a problem. But the Marsham is very bothered by the ikar het of the Shus Yaakov and Heishav Moshe, because although there is one there that's mutter, you have a whole tzibur, and the entire tzibur can't be nana from this one there. So since there's so many people here, they can't be nana from the one there, it should be a problem and shouldn't be considered that it's a sofa and a ribu neris. So Marsham is mafalpul. Maybe you could say that since there's one ner that's mutter and many neris that are aser, you say kol kavur kemechza dami, and the suffix derabbanon should be okay. Then he says it can't be because since everyone's coming together to be nanet for the neris, it's considered bo lishol b'vasachas, and you don't say kol kavur kemechza dami lahakol. And then the Marsham is mafalpel many rayas that since everybody could come and be nana from the one ner that the goy lit beheter, therefore it's mutter from all of them to be nana. And he brings many rayas, and one raya he brings from Al Gemara and Pesachim over here that's mavur, that you say that Shani Hacho the Mimshich Yihani Chozihani. So therefore everybody is Chozi to be Nana from the Ner that's mutter. And the Hashem writes, although many of the rayas that he brought are just a dugm va'alm, over here he says it's a dumya nochin to prove that it's lahakal. Then the Marsham writes a different smach lahakal. He says the Betzim the Heishav Moshe wrote this biktsara. The be'emes is mavur in the Beis Yosef. The reason why we're more machmer by hadlakas neiris, by miral and nochri, is because the guf is nana. The person's being nana from the halakas neiros. He says that's only when you're being nana. Midi the rishos. However, over here, when you sing Tehillim, you're learning. You say mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu, and since it's mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu, so therefore it doesn't have the chomer like a regular ner that has a chomer by Emir Lanochri. We have to point out that the Marsham that says that you say on lighting the neiros on Shabbos in the morning mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu, it's not like the Eglei Tal, the Akdama, the famous Eglei Tal that writes that by Torah you don't say mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu. The main mitzvah of Torah is to be nana, it's to enjoy the Torah, and he brings from the Taz that says you don't say mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu by Divrei Torah. Another ha'ara is that be'emes the Mincha Shloima from Shlomo Zalman, we mentioned the Shir and Dafnan Gimel, writes ba'arichas that it's mutter to be madlik from Neiris Shvius to learn, and he says it's not considered la'ochav la'hefsid, even though you say mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu, because mitzvahs lav lehenis nitnu is that you're not mechavin for the Isser. However, when you're sitting to learn through a candle that was lit from Shemin of Shvius, you're definitely enjoying it, and you're being nana, your guf is being nana from it. It's just the Gabi Yisur, and it's considered miskaven. So according to Shlomo Zalman, Hu Adin, by Mir Lanochri, it's considered that the nana from the light, and Shchor should be Osir. Maybe Tehillim is like davening, it's not like learning, but Masham is mashma even learning as well. Va'ayin sham